Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Canucks beat the Kraken last night 3-1 at Rogers Arena. I mentioned the Seahawks are 3-0. Mariners chance to make the MLB playoffs. Here to talk about all that, Ian Furness from KGR Sports Radio. We got you, sir?
You do. Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
Good. Now, have you renewed your presidency of the Tyler Myers fan club after last night, Ian?
I thought we're talking Seahawks. See, we're at Seahawks today, huh? Look at him.
Oh.
Give me some credit here. Coming to you live.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Not at home. Yeah, this is big. Well, we moved. I got moved around. Some guy named Francis, Hall of Fame guy, got bumped me yesterday from my spot.
Whoa! Whoa!
Wow.
Yeah.
Technically my boss now, I guess.
Yeah. You just don't want to talk about Tyler Myers. You don't want to talk about him.
Well, listen, you're not going to condone the hit on Borgen at the end of the period, are you?
I think Tyler Myers got lucky. It could have been a lot worse.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was a chump play. Watch. Here we are. I'm watching the replay. Here we go. There's Borgen. Oh yeah, that's clean. That's a, when they look up the term greasy in the hockey dictionary, right there, greasy, like little scrum. That's fine. Here we go, battling around, and then right there from behind.
I gotta say
tough guys always hit dudes from behind. It's good.
I gotta say, you and the rest of the people in Seattle, it's the only fan base in the NHL that gets this upset at Tyler Myers. Like, honestly, we don't.
Only guy.
Well, okay, and a good guy too, I assume, right? But at the same time, guys, come on. I watched that last night and I thought, of course. Of course. You see the scrum, you see the pile up, and I'm like, what happened there? Somebody kind of ran somebody. Oh, sure. It was the big stork. Yep, that's who it was. Well done. Well done. You know what? Honestly, all joking aside, you can kind of feel like the rivalry's kind of picking up with these two teams. Whether it's even from the start last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a preseason game and guys are getting after it. I thought it was fantastic.
No, I agree. Hey, you mentioned we had Ron Francis on. He bumped you yesterday on our show. What's your opinion? What's your opinion of the job he's done in 3+ years as Kraken GM?
It's an interesting dynamic because if the chronological order would have been a little different, right? So if year one was year one was just a throwaway, it's an expansion team, and if we take the Vegas anomaly out of the mix, you're going to have that year. If year two would have been actually last year, and then year three would have been the playoff year, we'd think we'd feel really good about things. That wasn't the case, obviously, and they took a step back last season. But I like what he's done. I came on here with you guys 4 years ago, right? And I didn't really love the expansion draft. I thought that they were a little conservative in what they did, but and I think a lot of people share that opinion. It wasn't just Ian's pontificating from the mountaintops and had any great insight, but I'll say this, the early returns and what we're seeing from the young guys. This is the first year they had enough players to go and have a young guys tournament. They played down in California with the California teams in that. First time they've done that. They didn't have anybody on an ATO down there. It was all their own guys. So they've built up the system pretty good. Now, how high end are those guys? Time will tell. But I like what he's done. I like what he did in the offseason. He had the ability to go out and get aggressive, and he did with Montour and Stevenson. But the proof for any GM in the National Hockey League is simply this. Do you win? Do you get to the playoffs? Do you get to the postseason? And I think their expectations this season are that this team gets back to the postseason. If they don't, then we revisit that same question.
All right, Ian, let's get to those 3-0 Seahawks after they beat the Dolphins. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you've heard this. 2 weak teams, and then Miami, they didn't have their starting quarterback. Oh, they haven't beaten a competitive team. Well, they got the Lions Monday night coming up. What's your thoughts on this 3-0 Seattle team? Are you saying, like so many others, that they got to beat a really good team before you say, hey, these guys are good?
Well, I think that's what you said, Rick, is fair. It is fair. It's like I'd love, you know me. I like to come on here and bust everyone's job. It's fair. Like Bo Nix. Now, Bo Nix looked a lot better last week.
Yeah.
They got him in his first ever start. And, throw it. I mean, all three of us could probably drive the ball further down the field than he did that day. It was just a weird just a weird dynamic. But and playing in Seattle's hard first rookie. But he played in big environments. He's an SEC quarterback, and then a couple of years at Oregon. So I didn't really chalk too much up to that. I think it was just the NFL is different than college. Week 2, Jacoby Brissett wasn't good. They ran the ball well, did New England, and hell, you had to go to overtime to win that game. So, if you want to just go by style points, those first 2 were nothing burgers, and then the last game at home really never truly in doubt. They did get within a touchdown, but I mean, Tim Boyle and Skylar Thompson weren't going to beat you. Tyreek Hill had checked out of that game mentally, it appeared. So, and they were missing one of their 2 running backs. But Seattle's been missing Ken Walker here, guys, for 2.5 games. Yeah. And he's a difference maker at running back. So, and Uchenna Nwosu is their best defensive lineman. He hasn't played yet this season. So I would always kind of take a step back and say, yeah, who they've played isn't very impressive. But Seattle is not nearly at full strength. They're on their 3rd string right tackle. They don't have their best defensive edge rush player in Nwosu. They don't have far and away their best running back in the lineup right now either. Their starting linebacker, inside linebackers out. So, really, that's kind of the way the NFL works. Everyone's like that. No one's healthy. No one has the guys they want right now. So, but if you get back to Detroit, Rick, Tuesdays or Monday Night Football is a massive test. That's a good football team playing at Ford Field. What gives Seattle fans and the organization probably a lot of confidence, though, is what Geno Smith has done there the last 2 years. He's been sensational in that building against that team, and they've won 2 games there. I walked into that building last season, Ford Field. It was week 2, and remember, Detroit had won in Kansas City on Thursday Night Football to open up the season. They were the sacrificial lamb to play the Chiefs at home to open up on national TV. They won that game. Detroit was going bananas. They were lined up 3.5 hours before the game. We could barely make our way even to our back media entrance to get in. It was crazy, a cool scene. That building was on fire. It was electric, and Seattle went in there and beat them. So I don't know. They feel comfortable, does Geno in that offense, in that building. So I think it's going to be a hell of a football game on Monday, to be honest with you. I really do. I think it's going to be a great Monday night game, and we haven't had a lot of those so far.
Ian, I'll tell you something right now. The Kraken and the Seahawks have something in common. A lot of penalties. Kraken first 5 last night. 2 were too many men. And then the Seahawks come in with 11 for 92 yards against the Dolphins. 5 by the offensive line. 2 holding and 3 false starts. What about the penalties, Ian, on Sunday against the Dolphins?
What is your point? What is your point here?
Quit taking penalties
down here. What are you saying? I don't like
aggressive
the insinuations there. I don't like the insinuation at all.
Aggressive.
I'm not.
Was Tyler Myers in their lineup?
Yeah, was Tyler Myers in their lineup?
I thought the only legit penalty was the too many men. And by the way, if you're going to get a too many men, you might as well do it that way, where you have 6 guys on the ice for a good 20 seconds. You might as well take a shot, right? Sometimes you go, God, let me count. Are there really too many men out there? Was the puck in for? Where was it? Oh no, there's 6 guys. There's 4 in the offensive zone. And there's 2 guys out at neutral ice. It's what are we doing here? I think maybe it's safe to say that Kazari and the other guy, they're in preseason mode too. They couldn't quite figure things out. Seattle was a better team 5-on-5, guys. No doubt about that. Kraken were a better team 5-on-5. It just wasn't a lot of 5-on-5 play is all. The Seahawks, that game, in all seriousness, that was one of the worst football games I think I'd ever had to suffer through.
Too many flags.
Flags all over the place.
And Donnie and Rick, the crazy thing is, they were legit. We can look at a hockey game and say, you probably could have let that go or this go, what have you. Okay. But in that football game on Sunday, when you look back at the replay, it's that was a hold. Yep, that was a block in the back. I mean, the only hard part about it is the referee at Land Clark or whatever the hell his name is. He's a former Pac-12 referee, which automatically makes you incompetent and really just adult. So so this is how he did it. He's waiting on the headset. Okay, you tell me. Yep, procedure. Okay, got it. Because they do this all this. They can't just walk up to and tell the guy now. It's on the. Okay, get that. Okay, now we're gonna go. Then he waits. Turns on the mic. Yep. Holding. Who was it again? 56 on the offense. Look at me. I'm making a penalty call. I'm going to take another 2 minutes just to do that. Yeah, that game drug on forever, man. Oh, Lord. Nobody wants to watch you guys. But they were legit penalties. Sloppy games. It's been I think if you watch the NFL a little bit, guys, not just our team, but around the league. It's been that way. It probably lends itself to this 3 preseason game schedule where nobody plays anybody. And so these guys are coming out. In college football, you can play a lesser opponent the first week and kind of work out the kinks. In the NFL, I feel like it's just been a sloppy start. Passing numbers are down to the lowest they've been in the NFL in like almost 3 decades. It's just been kind of a sloppy, not fun, viewing start to the NFL season.
Yeah. And believe that we're at a point now where field goals outdistance touchdowns by a large margin, more so than it has been in previous seasons. But hey, we're still watching. It's the NFL. It's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah,
just like
how we feeling up there about the Canucks? How we feeling about that team? Huh? We all excited?
They beat the Kraken last night. What are you
talking? They beat the Kraken.
Hey, by the way, my buddy Mike Benton, who does our radio pre and post game and hosting, great guy. Mike Benton, he's showing me a text last night from some guy or a tweet. He tweeted out the line combos early on, and a couple fans were tweeting in, going, "Wow, this is a horrible lineup. I can't put." Like the guys, like your fans who are supposed to be a lot smarter than us, thought that was like their regular lineup. They had like 5 regulars in the lineup all night. Like, can you educate your fans up there a little bit better? Like, come on now. Can we educate these folks up there?
Okay, here's my takeaway from what you just said. Is Mike any relation to Barbie? Barbie Benton.
Yeah, I know Barbie Benton, and by looks, no, not even. No, I love Mike Benton. Rick, what would you call him? Good guy? Like he's a good guy, right?
Yeah. Good guy.
I'd put him in the great guy category, actually, but Barbie Benton wouldn't even talk to him. Like she wouldn't even acknowledge his presence.
There you go.
We call him the captain. He's what? He's one of those guys.
Especially if they were related.
Yeah, he's got too much enthusiasm for my liking. Like he loves his job and loves working and loves life too much for me. Guys like that bother me. I just want to get through the day. I'm a lot like Donnie. Really, in that regard. Just where's the finish line, huh?
Yeah.
Where is the finish line at?
Well, if you're watching our show earlier, you know that the finish line is really close for me. Hey, listen, proof of that is I brought up Barbie Benton. 3% of our audience know who I'm talking about. I'm glad you do.
Man, see, now I'm going to go back and Google it here at the Seahawks when I'm done. I'm going to go look back at some old images and see what she's up to these days. So,
yeah, you don't want to. I don't know, but you don't want to do that publicly. Just save that for later.
I don't think she did anything like that, did she? I thought she was kind of.
Well, she was Hugh Hefner's ex, right? So I think there was a few centerfolds there.
I bet.
Right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if I do the Google, it's going to be a safe search issue, and we're going to have bells.
It's okay. I just did it. I Googled it.
Seahawk IT guys will be running down here, violated a firewall or something, right? I won't be invited back.
Rick Googles her every 5 minutes.
I Googled her. It's okay. It's okay.
We probably don't want to see Rick's Google history right now.
No.
No,
Ian,
you don't.
Thanks for this. Next week,
gentlemen. You just tell me what day, boys, and I'll be there for you because you're my priority.
Just be on time next week, okay?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I'll do my best. See ya.
Thanks, Ian.